Ladies and gentlemen, this is the big one, part two. Born in Buffalo, New York, with strong ties to family in Sudbury, this person has grown up in one of the most legendary hockey families from the North. Drafted in 2006 into the NHL by the Ottawa Senators in the first round, 28th overall, he has tallied 201 goals and 277 assists, totaling 478 points, while tacking on 757 pims in 938 games. Guy can score and put up pins. We love it. Absolute warrior of the game. A role model for the youth here in Sudbury, has done amazing work with the community, with Nhl Kids, the Janice Foligno Foundation, and recently alongside wife Janelle and daughter Milena, have created a foundation for congenital heart disease, raising awareness for the cause. In doing so, he has been the recipient of the King Clancy Award and the Mark Messier Leadership Award in 2016-17. This person has been the heart and soul of the Columbus Blue Jackets since 2012. Please welcome to the Behind the Bench podcast, captain of the Blue Jackets, Nick Foligno. How's it going?
Good. Marcus wasn't kidding when you said the intros are pretty impressive, man.
That's right.
Good.
That's right. I pumped the tires right off the hop. We got to get the feet moving right away.
I love it. Let's go. But
love
thanks
it
for having me on.
Hey, no problem. First off, got to say, like we said in the email, love the haircut. That's mean. That's mean. Yeah. I love it. As soon as someone shaves the head, it goes, I love it. It's awesome.
It was time. I'm going for the Vikings look, you know?
Yeah, I like it. That's awesome. Okay. So let's get right into it, and we'll start it off with Tom. Tom's going to start off with your career here.
Yeah, for sure. Well, before I go to the first question, Nick, we talked about the intro. Every time we have a bigger guest on, Alex always reads it because Mason and Alex actually make fun of me that I'm not really good at reading. So we make sure with the bigger guest that
you and me both.
Hey, words are tough.
Yeah.
The first question that we always ask our guests, Nick, is like, so it's so typical, but when did you start playing hockey? At what age?
I was, I'd say 3 or 4 years old. I think I was like 3 turning 4 that year as you start playing October 31st, Halloween birthday. So, and I remember playing for a startup organization in Buffalo Saints program. So just, an awesome thing to do. I mean, I think my first team was the San Jose Sharks, which had the teal, and I had the jersey.
Yeah.
I laughed because my son this year just started playing hockey at 5. And his team, that's why I laughed, was the Seattle Kraken.
No way.
They had the exact same style like San Jose. They couldn't quite match the Kraken colors. So I said it's pretty unique that him and I both, our first teams were like a teal jersey kind of. So we'll see what's in the cards for Landon. But I started playing around that time. So it's been a long time.
What made you stick with hockey, like on an individual standpoint?
Well, I think just obviously the family ties. I always say, like, Marcus and I were lucky. We saw the passion that my dad had for the game.
Right. Yeah.
And I think that instantly instilled us with that, that mindset at a young age. We'd watch hockey with him. He'd take us to his games when I was young enough to go watch him. And then coaching. I think just being around the rink, Marcus and I were complete rink rats when, he was coaching the Hershey Bears, Colorado Avalanche. I mean, I didn't even realize at the time I'm walking around Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
To me, I have no idea in my, I remember Peter Forsberg signed a stick for me. I started using it on the street. You don't have any clue. I'm like, that's a good stick. I don't know why this guy signed it. I don't know what the heck, and I realized after, I'm like, why would I have done that?
That awesome.
Marcus had a Patrick Waugh mini stick signed. I had a Peter Forsberg mini stick signed. We ruined those in the house, obviously playing mini sticks. And, it wasn't disrespectful. It was just, that was our mindset. We loved the game and we loved being around these guys and didn't realize till later on, which I think is an important thing. I don't think we ever put our dad on a pedestal of like, he's an NHL player. We just, This is what our dad does. This is really cool. We get to come to the rink, eat a ton of bubble gum, have a blast. And, and so I think that right there was just like, this is so much fun. And I think you see that in Marcus and I's game, the way we play the game, we still have a blast. And that was instilled in us from a young age and is the reason why we're where we are today.
Yeah. Unreal.
From what Alex was telling me, Nick, you can maybe clarify this, but you're a big Celine Dion fan. Is that true?
Yeah, that one follows me around. I remember my mom was a huge Celine Dion fan, and you're just sitting in the car on the way to games, and my mom's the one driving me, so I got to listen. She got me into country music, so I love Garth Brooks and I love Celine Dion because of my mom. And so we'd be sitting there and singing along the songs as I was going to the games, and she was the one usually driving me because my dad was coaching, and so I didn't have a choice on what was on the radio or on the CD
funny.
player. But I laughed because I got tickets. My wife got me tickets to Celine Dion when I was playing in Ottawa, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's so nice! You got your wife tickets to Celine Dion." I'm like, "No, she got them for me."
That's amazing.
That was a pretty good laugh from everybody.
Oh,
but she's a beauty, man. She can sing.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
God.
big time. Do you get to sneak any Celine Dion in the room? Do the boys like it?
Every now and then. I mean, I have control of the room, but maybe not that much to throw on Celine. They're already tired of some of my songs because I just like to play like chill country songs, and guys want some upbeat stuff. So they've kind of kicked me off the stereo.
Oh, I love it. Good stuff. Okay, so in your childhood, Nick, did you get to spend much time in Sudbury? Because just like reading from your elite prospects, you play a lot of minor hockey in the States. Did you ever have time to come back here?
You know what was summers? That was our
Right.
time, and we used to just absolutely love it. It was
Yeah.
actually hilarious. We used to spend about 2 weeks with each aunt or relative.
That's what Marcus is saying. Yeah.
The old like just mooch off everyone until they were tired of you and you move on to the next house. And I mean, I can't imagine bringing in 6 people into your home now, and having them there in your face but that's how tight knit our family is. That's why we're so close to our family in Sudbury, and
that's awesome.
And have such strong ties. So we'd go to my grandmother's house on my mom's side for 2 weeks, my aunt's house on my mom's side for 2 weeks, and then my aunt's house on my dad's side for 2 weeks. And by that point, everyone's like, "Get the hell out of Sudbury. We're tired of you, Folignos." But what a blast! I think that's where I really learned about the city and just how beautiful it is. And I mean, anytime we talk about Sudbury, we were so excited to come up there and enjoy time with our cousins and just had a blast. So it was a great place to go as a child in the summers.
Right. And kind of leads into the next question. Like what about Sudbury makes you keep coming back? And I'll let you go with that.
Yeah. Well, I think, not to get sentimental, but it's where my mom's from. It's where my family's from. My mom's there now, buried, obviously. And that's always going to be home. I'm a mama's boy. So
I love that.
Yeah. But then, you go even further than that. It's where my wife's from. I was so fortunate to play for the Sudbury Wolves and have that experience. And now I feel like I'm part of the city. I remember coming there as Mike Foligno's son, and not everyone's like, "Oh, what's this kid all about? He's probably only on the team because of his dad." And then you get embraced by our run in 2007, and you just get embraced by the city. And I fell in love with the city. I fell in love with the people of the city. And every time I come back there, it just it's home. I just feel so comfortable, and people are so genuine and caring, and you see it. I mean, you guys go up there. It's a place that cares a lot about their own. We're really proud of our own and how they've made it. And I think it's great that you guys highlight that. But it's a northern town that a lot of people forget about. We don't get enough credit, but there are some amazing people doing incredible things in Sudbury, and I'm so proud to call that home now and be a part of that.
That's awesome. I love it.
You're already a better interview than your brother Marcus, because you actually tee us up into the next segment of what we're getting into. So you mentioned the
I haven't
Wolves.
taught him everything yet. I'm still working with him. He's he's hard-headed. He's hard-headed.
So you mentioned the Wolves, and you got drafted by them in the 5th round in the 03 draft to the OHL. What did it feel like coming home and obviously playing for your dad?
Yeah, it was kind of unexpected, to be honest with you. I was playing at the time with the U.S. national team, and to be honest with everybody, I was fully prepared to go to the college route. I never really grew up in Canada, so I never, I knew what this junior was. I always thought it was like way older. I'm like, I'm never gonna. Those guys have beards. Those guys are scary. Right. I'm never gonna play in that league, And I remember going to a couple games and just being like, this is insane. These guys are nuts, This is man's hockey. And then unfortunately my mom got sick with breast cancer. And that was around the time, right at the end of my under 17 year at the US program. And so I knew my dad was coaching there. And I had an opportunity to go. And once I learned a bit more about the league, I realized that I think that, like, first of all, not even hockey aside, I wanted to be close to my mom. You know, she was going through the fight of her life, and I wanted to be home with my family. And it worked out that I got to play at a high level while doing that. And so the stars kind of aligned for me. And man, I am so happy I made that decision. So playing in Sudbury for those 3 years was some of the best years of my life, playing with some great players, Mark Stahl, Adam McQuaid, Benoit Pouliot. I mean, we had a great team when we went to 2007 finals. And to be a part of that team with the history that my dad had there, and to see his jersey in the raft, it meant a lot to our family. Have him coach me. I still think he's one of the best coaches I've ever had. So I think it helped me in my career and getting to where I wanted to be. And the time I spent in Sudbury, I mean, just with the fans and the experience, I mean, it made me a better player and a better person.
That's amazing. And you talk about playing for Mike. What was it like? Was he a big pregame speech guy, or did he keep it cool?
Oh, he could get you fired up. He was pretty good. Yeah, I got to give him credit. He had some pretty good speeches for the boys, and that was the neat part. Like I told you guys before, I always saw my dad as my dad growing up, right? I did as I got older, but still, you never really saw him in that environment. You know, I wasn't able to be in the room when he's coaching or playing, so I didn't really see him. But then to be actually coached by him and see what makes him tick and how his mind works and his genius kind of at hockey, it was enjoyable to be coached by him, because I got to learn so much, first of all, and then also see how he impacts other players. That was I was so amused by how my dad would get the most out of other guys, you know, and see how guys respected him. And he still keeps in touch with so many of his ex-players today, and I think that's a testament to any coach, you know. And you know, there's some days where it was war, you know, like I have a bit of a mouth on me. Marcus is more frustrating because he doesn't really say much. So my dad would probably snap more, just because, like, say something, like, you know, and whereas I would kind of
give it back to him.
And that never goes well. That never goes well. But he used to do this thing where, when he was really mad at me, he used to come down the bench and he used to grab my neck like a dog, and he just squeezed as he talked quietly to me, you know. And I was like, oh, you kind of do like the neck shrug as he's ripping your neck off. But it was pretty funny. But he taught me so much, and I mean, obviously he's a big reason why we had success those years, and it's one of the, you know, most successful coaches in the organization.
Yeah, that's great. I like the neck part, because I was watching some of your mic'd up videos, and that one game against Carolina, the guy put you in a headlock at the net, and you turn around and it's like, dude, don't touch my neck. That was
it's like PTSD from all the years my dad would grab me.
That's awesome. I like it. And then you talk about the run. Obviously, you had 88 points and 135 PIMs that year. It was just unbelievable. You wore an A. And it was a historic year. That's the furthest the Wolves gone in a while. So what was that run like?
Oh, man, it was I still talking to, like, Mark and Adam and John Diversa, a few guys that were a big part of it. It was one of the most fun years in hockey for us.
Yeah.
You know, I think just our team we knew we were better than kind of what we had shown in the regular season. I think, if I'm not mistaken, we kind of limped into the playoffs in like seventh spot.
Low seed.
And so, we kind of, you know, we rope-a-doped a lot of teams where they thought, okay. And then we you know, steamroll Mississauga, I think, or it's Mississauga. And then we pumped Barrie 4 straight.
Yeah.
And I think for us, we knew that our team was coming, and we had this bond between everybody. I think pulling in Andy Self and Justin Donati at the time was huge for our team. And then just to be able to go on the run for the fans. You know, I thought the neatest thing for me, and maybe this is sentimental to me, was the last time they went to the finals, my dad was actually playing.
Right.
And to be the son now, to be able to help bring the team to the finals again, was a really cool full circle moment for me. And damn it, if we didn't win that series, and probably should have. I mean, we were up in the series and just couldn't hold on against. And they were a pretty good.
They were strong.
They were big and strong and skilled. And but man, we had a hell of a run. And just one thing that stands out, besides the guys, because I'm still close to all those guys and the memories that we had, the battles, is the fans. I mean, Sudbury Arena, I don't think I've ever seen it like that. You
Yeah.
had the standing room packed.
Yeah.
People were running to the concessions were too slow, so people were running outside to the doghouse to get drinks.
That's right. Yeah.
And I'm hearing all these stories, and then just how many people would wait after games, and it was, we got treated like rock stars, and it was just, as a junior kid, that's what you dream of, and especially in a small town like Sudbury, to have that kind of, I still hear people talk about it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what's so amazing, and it was a blast.
Yeah, and exactly, because no one's done that since. You guys really, like, it was unbelievable. I remember being 7 years old watching that series, and I remember.
Thanks for making me feel old, man.
Anytime. Anytime. But I remember sitting there watching. I don't know what game was it, but do you remember Justin Donati's OT goal? Like it squeaked through Michael Neuvert, and it was like the ref didn't blow the whistle for like 5 seconds. No one knew what was going on, and trickled. That was unbelievable. Yeah,
unbelieliable.
Yeah.
And then even Matt Diaz's triple overtime to get us into the finals. I mean, I think I jumped higher than he did. It's just unbelievable turn of events. So
such a sick team.
Great memories. Great memories.
And then you talk about the arena, and we'll get into it because we asked Marcus too. What's your thoughts on the current arena situation, the Kingsway versus the downtown?
Yeah, I mean, I'm of the mindset that we need to move forward, and for me, I've always wanted the arena to be downtown because I played in places where I played in Ottawa, where
right.
If you would have had that arena downtown, just a whole different atmosphere, and so it breaks my heart for Sudbury because I think that's where you envision everything, right? And so I'm not knocking where it is in the Kingsway. If that's what's going to help us move forward, then by all means, if that's going to allow us. But for me, in my heart, if I'm being honest, is I want to see it downtown. I do. I think there is a reason why, and I think our downtown needs it. I think our downtown isn't strong enough to survive without having a reason for people to come down there. And you can make up all these things like, we can have this and that, but we're Sudbury, we're not Toronto. We need reasons to come downtown. And so, and I think it just creates that look. You come over that bridge and there should be an arena there. I always thought that that's the spectacle of coming across that bridge when you're coming from Toronto, and those teams they know they're like I remember guys saying, like, especially when we were really good, they come over that bridge and they're like, all right, now we got to get ready for a war here. It's kind of like that.
That's cool.
So that to me is like, that's your first sign of coming into downtown Sudbury. And it would break my heart if it's not there, but again, I'm not the one making decisions on that, but I'd like to see our city just move forward. I think we can all agree on that.
Exactly.
We seem to take one step forward and then 2 steps back. So I just want to see some progress, and I think our city deserves a new arena. Yeah, I think our team will take off from there.
Yeah, I agree with you. Great take. And we'll send it over. Our producer Mason always asks this question about the arena, and we'll send it over to him.
Yeah, Nick, you set the stuffed wolf out from the rafters a couple times in your day. What's your take on the stuffed wolf? Does it need to move with the new arena, or does it stay in the old arena if it gets refurbished? What's going on with it?
Oh, the wolf's got to stay. That's part of our history. That there's no doubt. The rickety coming down that's the best part. And everybody talks about it. The teammates I had that played against me, they're like, that damn wolf. I can't believe. Like, I heard it got stolen twice. As a tank, and they found it years later. Like it's history. And how do you, for us, that's part of who we are as an organization.
Yeah.
And I think that's just such a neat, and think about it too. Like a lot of times now, especially junior hockey, it's a mom and pop operation, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got to have that. Where people come from afar and they want to see the wolf. The kids love it.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know what the animal lovers think of it, but it's happened so long ago. They can relax on that one.
Yeah.
But I think it's got to stay no matter what happens. But I think it's just a great testament to pay respects to the old days too I think we're so big on tradition in Sudbury that it'd be hard to lose that wolf.
Yeah. Great take. It's been the overall consensus. The wolf's got to stay. Yeah. So I love it. Good stuff.
Yeah. So moving away from the Wolves days, we get into the earlier days in the NHL when you get drafted to the Ottawa Senators in the first round. So what was it like the moment like finally making it and getting drafted by this organization?
Yeah, I mean, I hung around the whole draft for 28th pick. It's getting kind of nervous. I'm like, oh boy. But when you hear your name and you instantly become kind of numb, and then you walk up the steps and there's Gary Bettman at the top and he goes to shake your hand. He says, "Welcome to the NHL." It's probably one of the coolest moments, and you dream about it. You get chills even thinking about it now. And then you realize that's just the start. And then you realize you lied. You mean I got to make the team? I thought I just instantly in the NHL. And it's the most incredible journey, and it really pushes you as a person and a player, because this is the top level. This is, everyone always says too, it's one thing to get there, it's another thing to stay. And that was I remember having the opportunity to come into a really fortunate coming into a team that just went to the finals the year before. I actually stuck around for the whole training camp, which I didn't expect to. When that year they went to the finals, was one of their last cuts, and went back to junior and just was full of confidence. And that's the year we went on our run, and then came in the next year and ended up having a really good camp. I don't like to brag, but I led our team in scoring with Jason Spezza
There you go. Yeah.
and Heatley in the preseason.
No big deal. Yeah, no big deal.
But and then I forced myself onto the team, which is what you have to do. You have an opportunity, you have to force yourself onto the team, and was fortunate enough to play kind of sparingly that year. And in hindsight, I probably should have played in the minors that year to be able to be the player that I wanted to be. But our team, I think I forced them to put me up in the lineup, and then also our team had some injuries, and so they needed me. And so I got 45 games of experience that first year, and ended up being able to play in the playoffs that year, which was huge for my confidence. Scored my first playoff goal. And I just remember, being around those guys and that team. I had, Daniel Alfredson, Mike Fisher, Wade Redden, Chris Phillips. I mean, ultimate pros, Jason Spezza, and to learn from those guys at 19 years old and see how they go about their business and see what they do. And I mean, I know it's a big reason of why I'm still in the league at 14 years going, and and just seeing how those guys acted and how they embraced me as well. And something I think as I've become a leader now, you try to do with the younger guys and bring them along. And it was a really, really special time to come into that team. And it was great. Really enjoyed my time in Ottawa.
Yeah, it was so cool to see you go from a OHL finals loss to a team that just lost in the Stanley Cup finals. That's such a unique situation. And again, like you said, you basically answered every question we had about Ottawa in one spiel. That's unreal. You have been fantastic during this interview. But I got to show you this. I did the memorabilia piece with Marcus, so I'll show you here. We got Nick Foligno.
Oh yeah, vintage
jersey, baby. Yeah, signed.
We gotta upgrade that. But
yeah, we'll work on that. We'll be in touch.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Don't show him all the other NHL players you have, Alex.
I got Bert there too. Yeah. We're all set.
Bert, good boy, good man.
Yeah,
across
exactly.
the lake from us now.
Yeah, we drove by a couple times on the pontoon. Yeah,
nice.
checked out the compound. But yeah. So I actually got a picture up here too. And my first NHL game was actually watching you playing Montreal. I think it was 2008. And I bought this picture here to get signed with the market. I knew it was a long shot. So we're waiting by the tunnel, and I see you coming by, and I'm yelling, Nick, but you were so locked in.
Sorry, man.
No, not to make you feel bad. It was just you were so locked in, like tunnel vision, getting out there. It was so sick. So no worries on that. It was unreal. Yeah.
I'll make it up to you.
No, it's all good. All right. Let's move on to Columbus days, Tom.
Yeah. Okay. So Nick, you get traded to Columbus. Did you know any of that was going to happen? Like, how did that all go down? And how was it getting traded for the first time?
It's kind of funny, man. It was I was at my cousin's wedding in Buffalo, New York, and July 1st. So you think I'm so naive, I should know, like, hey, probably be around your phone on July 1st. But I had no idea. I was negotiating.
You had a wedding.
Yeah, I was at a wedding. I was trying to be respectful, not on my phone. Hold on, can you hold on to the vows? I just gotta have this phone call. I remember it was just before the wedding. So there was like an in-between part. They were going for photos, and we decided to go for a family drive to see my old house that we lived in. We just drove
Cool.
around our old neighborhood. It was like
Yeah.
a bunch of us. And my aunt gets a crazy idea to actually, there's the lady that owns our old house is outside. So my aunt jumps out of the car and she goes over and she's like, hey, you know, these people used to live here. Would you mind if like they could come see their house? Which I've never heard of in my life. But the lady's like, sure, come on in. So we all like in a like panic. I just park my car on the street. We jump out and leave my phone in the car. And now we're in this house. We're going through like, oh, look at her. She still had like our handprints on the. It was hilarious, like this, you know. And so we go through the whole house. It's probably an hour. I come out and my brother at the time, I think it's like just when Twitter came out.
Yeah.
And Marcus is like, hey, like runs over to me. He's like, hey Nick, I think you got traded. I'm like, what? And so I go check my phone. I got like 40 missed calls from my agent, Brian Murray from Ottawa. And I'm like,
my God.
Oh shit, I think I got traded, you know? And so I call him back and Nick, you got traded to Columbus, you know, thank you for all your time. So the best part is I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I got traded to Columbus. And she starts crying because she's like a Canadian girl, doesn't really know. And then she's like, where is Columbus? So, and the best part is I'm like, I don't even know. Like, I don't really know.
Oh my God.
We had a pretty funny start to our time going to Columbus, but I remember it was so weird though. And this is how I know I was ready for it. I was so excited, you know, as sad as I was to leave Ottawa, I just felt like I was never going to be able to be the player that I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you're in an organization for so many years, you just start to get not pigeonholed, but sometimes you need a fresh start. You want to go somewhere and have a new set of eyes on you and okay, what can you help me with? And Columbus did that for me. I got there and they're like, this is what we envision you to be. And we need you to get there, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not a knock on Ottawa. Maybe I could have got there, but I felt like it was my chance to also grab a hold of the team and be that guy for the team. And that's what I tried to do. I went there and I was so excited to be a part of changing the culture. And I did it with some great guys too. Like when we first got there, I got there with Brandon Dubinsky.
Yep.
You know, and I learned from a guy that was already a local Sudbury boy there, that Derek McKenzie.
Yep.
Who you'll have to get on this thing one
Absolutely.
day too. And so I got really fortunate of being around some really good guys and then trying to grow the culture. And you know, the rest is history. I mean, we've you know, it's been 9 years and it's just been crazy. It's been the best thing that ever happened to me. We are in absolute love with Columbus. It's like our second home. And, you know, and I love these guys and this team and this organization and the city and the people here too.
Yeah.
They remind me a lot of Sudbury. So
yeah,
I'm very
that's
lucky.
awesome. Yeah, I love that because there's that stigma around Columbus for some reason. I don't get it. People
pisses me off, man.
Yeah, I'd be pissed too. And you know, you've stuck around and been through teams of rapid change, players leaving like that 2018 team. You guys were stacked, like so good, like, and you shocked the world against Tampa, right? Like it was crazy. And it's good to see that you stuck around and you're fighting for Columbus. I love that. So and like you said, it got you to elevate your game. You had 31 goals in 2014-15. So, you know, you talk about getting to that point. Did you feel like you were there after that season?
Yeah, and I just felt like that was the first. I was playing with a really great player, Ryan Johansson, great center.
Yeah.
And, you know, we had instant chemistry, good friends. And it's just one of those years that everything kind of clicked, you know? And I think it clicked too, just in the aspect of like, I really cared a lot about this team. And, you know, I think that elevated it and allowed me to, you know, become the player that I envisioned being and also take on more responsibility. And, you know, it's maybe the reason why I was named captain the year later. But I remember that year, just, you know, I wasn't sure where my future was going to go. That was the year I was my first chance of being an unrestricted free agent. So I kind of went into the end of the year, you know, kind of like, well, we'll see where this goes. You know, I love Columbus. And as the year went on and, you know, I had individual success, the team was unfortunate. We actually had a great team that year. A lot of people don't realize we had so many injuries. We got decimated by injuries. Yeah. And just couldn't find our foot. We actually went on I think we won 15 out of our last 17 games once everyone got healthy. That's how good of a team we had. And we should have done more, but you know, and I think that's just kind of where I realized, okay, I can be this player. I want to be this player for this team. I want to take on more responsibility now. I want to win. Now we've built it. Now I want to win.
Yeah.
And that's been, that, like you said, that 2018 team was as close as I've seen us to being just a solid team
So
throughout.
sick. Yeah.
And, it's too bad we ran into two powerhouses in Tampa and Boston. I mean, we would have liked to have had a different roadmap, but that's what I've realized now in this league. It's what does it take to win? It's not all about the flashy points, and there's a certain style that takes the win. And we're trying to find that right now as well in our team this year.
Right. Absolutely. And you talk about finding that style. You come in with John Tortorella, comes in 2015-16. And I know there's a lot of talk about Torts. What's it like playing for him?
Oh, it's awesome. It really is. You know what? I have so much respect for Torts. I remember that first year as captain, he came in, we struggled. We went 0-8 to start the year, which was, I don't care if you're Marc Messier, that's a hard start to a year for anybody. And I'm learning how to be a captain at the time.
Yeah.
And I remember just trying to put the whole weight of the world on my shoulders because I felt like I was responsible. And so Torts was great, but also challenging me to, he realized how green I was, and it made me realize how green I was. It wasn't like I had all the answers, and we butted heads that year. It was pretty funny. Like we got into it, and I remember him challenging me, saying, Nick, I think you're a great player, and I think you're a great person, but I don't know if you can be a captain. I don't know if it, he actually said that. And you know what? After that year, I would have asked the same question too, because I really didn't get my footing after. Once we got going, I just couldn't. I was still kind of searching, and as a captain, you got to always just try to find your way and help the team along, right? And so we had this honest conversation, and he kind of challenged me at the end of the season. And I remember coming in the next season, like, prove him wrong. Like, no, screw you, man. I am that, and it was good for me because it made me realize that even though I had a good season the year before, it's all about what you're doing in the moment, and good on you that you had it, but like, what are you doing for the team right now?
Right.
And so it really helped me as a player. And ever since that moment, I think him and I have just built such a respect for one another, and our relationship has grown so much where he's made me a better player and a better leader. I know that for a fact. And he's done that for a lot of guys. A lot gets talked about in the media. A lot gets, he's an emotional Italian.
Yeah.
So we know how that works.
Yeah.
But I would rather that than a coach that you don't know where you stand, or you're not sure what he's thinking. He's going to tell you to your face. You may not like hearing it.
Yeah.
But as far as I'm concerned, I think that gets more out of me than some other guy where I'm not sure. You're tiptoeing around, and
just tell me.
Torts is black and white.
Black
and white. And honestly, if you look at his track record, he gets a lot out of teams because of that. And we're really fortunate to have him at the helm here.
Yeah, what he's done with Columbus has been unbelievable. You guys have been sick. Is he electric in the room? Does he get the boys going? Those pregame speeches must be unreal.
Oh, he can get the guy. That's one thing. He's such a great motivator.
Yeah,
he's had some epic speeches. I think you saw the one before we played Tampa. It's on you, and he has this ability to get to your, like, what makes you tick. And every guy, you get up from that meeting or that speech and you just want to run through a wall. And I think that's a great sign of a coach, and he's had some epic ones. He's had some blow ups, and they're hilarious, and we laugh. One of his things that he does is he gets so emotional that even if he's praising you, he's kind of yelling at you.
Yeah.
Like, he'll be like, "I'm so proud of you," and you're like, "Are you mad at us, or are you happy?" Like, I'm not sure, but he's like, so he's just so fired up. So it's like a joke within the room. Like, we'll go up to each other after, like, "I'm so proud of you, man," and it's just the way he is. So you gotta love it. You gotta love it when a coach is that fired up. It gets everybody else. Even if you're not a guy that is like that, it pulls.
It's got to motivate you a little bit. No kidding. Yeah. Awesome.
Absolutely.
For sure. If you're ever looking for a part-time gig, Nick, you've basically, for all my questions I had for you, you just teed me up right away. So the next question I had for you was the captaincy, when you got named the sixth captain of the franchise, but you basically almost answered everything I had. But was there anything like unique about this? Like, how did they announce this to you? Did they tell you in the room type of thing, or how did you find out?
Well, I think they did a vote, if I'm not mistaken. I think we did a vote, and just to make sure, I guess, or
the people's captain.
To make sure. So I wrote my name on like 18 different cards to throw it in the pile. But I remember that, which was, for me, I think that was even cooler than having a GM or a coach tell me, "Hey, I want you to be like," when your players and your teammates respect you
Yes.
enough to want to put your name on a piece of paper. I think that's how we did it. That meant more to me than anything, because
Yeah,
that's who I go to battle for. That's who I
that's
go to
right.
play for every day, and how much I care about those guys. So to me, that was the most gratifying thing about being asked to be
Yeah.
captain. And then, just the whole process, you come down for the interview, and it's in the summer, and you put the jersey on for the first time. It's got the C, and we hadn't had a
So
captain
cool.
there for a few years. It
Yeah.
just, it meant a lot. I remember my dad being a captain in the league, and my dad actually made me laugh. He goes, when I got asked to be captain, he goes, "It's the best, worst job in the NHL." Because you get all the shit. You got to answer all the
Yeah.
questions when you
Yeah.
lose. And you know what? I love it. I wouldn't
Yeah.
trade it for a minute, because it's never about me anyway. It's about the guys. It's about how we're trying to win. And I couldn't care for any praise. I just love this team. And, I love the guys that I play with and go to battle with. And, I have a blast every day doing it. And I love the challenge. I love the challenge of trying to bring everybody together. I
Yeah.
love the challenge of trying to, find out what makes guys tick that are going to eventually help our team play better. And I don't know, just something in me. I've been like, I can probably ask Marcus. I was like that always. I would like to take control, but also like I care about people. I want people to have a good time. I want people to feel engaged and committed to things. And so it just kind of maybe lined up perfectly. But it's been an amazing time here, and I wouldn't trade it for anything.
Yeah. Yeah, well said. Like it was for us being from Sudbury, like talk about motivation. You're a captain, Derek McKenzie, a captain in the league.
Yeah.
Two guys from Sub. Like, are you kidding me? Like, we never would have thought something like that would happen. It was like unbelievable to see that. It was so cool. Like it's funny. Like we're sitting here as 20-year-olds, but we looked up to you guys. Like that's
True.
who we looked up to in hockey. Which and you led such a good example. In 2016-17, you win 2 leadership awards. The King Clancy and the Mark Messier, and all that work you've done with your foundations is unbelievable. So kind of touch on that and about the foundations and winning those awards.
Yeah, I mean, that was a wild. I mean, just to go to Vegas for the NHL awards is a blast in itself. But to be nominated, and especially the Mark Messier Award, just because of how much respect I have for him and as a player,
Yeah.
as a person, you never hear anything bad said about Mark Messier, and so to have him hand me the award and win that one, I was not expecting that. And and him to say, "I've really enjoyed following you this year and was really impressed." And so you have that guy that you look up to say that to you. It meant a lot. And
Yeah.
then to win the Masterton, I just the King Clancy. I was up for the Masterton. Sorry.
So many awards.
Edit
Yeah, cut that, producer Mace.
No, to win the King Clancy, I just I don't think you ever realize the impact that we have as players. And so I've always known, and I'm lucky. I come from a family and a father and a mother who always wanted to give back. I think it's well documented in Sudbury. I think it's documented anywhere he played. So I had that as a young kid in my mind. I'd go to Meals on Wheels trips with my mom. I would do things with my dad and see him in charitable and with other fans, or go to events. And that was important to me. I knew the impact that you make off the ice. It ingrains you in the community, and it gives people a reason to know that you're one of them, and then they cheer for you a little bit more, and they realize that you're in their corner. You're not just here for your paycheck, and no, you want to make a difference. And if I'm getting all the support in the world from these fans in the city, I better be doing as much as I can to support them back.
Right.
And it naturally, I mean, our world spun out of control a little bit when our daughter was born with a congenital heart defect.
Right.
And then from something so scary, you try to find a way to do something good. And that's why we've created the Hearts Playbook, and donated to the hospitals that ended up giving me a chance to have a family, I said. And there are so many people out there, and you're always hesitant at first. Like, I hate doing things for notoriety. That was a big reason. Like, we didn't really want to do that and have it be, but then you realize how many people just don't know what's out there. How many people don't know what's available. And
So true.
when you can bring some light to some research that's being done, some doctors.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we had a word of mouth doctor that ended up saving our daughter's life. Had that person never spoke up, I don't think we would have found this doctor.
That's
So
crazy.
who are we now just because, we want to keep things private? And no, we owe it to everybody else for the chance that we got to have a family to pay it forward. And I have an incredible wife that is on the same page as me, and where we do it together. And I think it's been really, really amazing to have that bond, not just as, a couple. Now we do something together that is trying to make the world a better place. And we're showing our daughter and our kids now what it means to give back. And, our daughter is realizing the impact her story is having on other people. And that's an amazing and powerful thing at 7 years old for her to go through. And so we're really proud of it. I think we know it's a collective group that helps us. There's so much support that we've gotten from the whole community. Sudbury has been amazing. The people in Sudbury, God, they are just incredible people, and the way they've supported our family, we're indebted to them forever too. And but we feel humbled, and it's been an amazing journey that way. I think as much as I'm proud of the on ice stuff, I am so proud of the off ice stuff that we've been able to do as a family and contribute. And that's something I'll probably look back on when I'm done playing as something I'm most proud of, to be honest with you.
Unreal. Well said. Yeah,
for sure. Well said. You mentioned earlier in the interview, Nick, the challenge. So 2019, 2020, I hate to break this to you, but I'm a diehard Leafs fan. So I have to let you know that now. And you end up beating
you and
them.
all my friends and everybody in my family.
That's right. That's right. I love it, Nick. Give it right to him.
Yeah. Chimino's not a Leafs fan, so this should be good. How was that whole series beating that front loaded team with all the young stars they have?
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Only because I knew, like, you have to understand, like, being from Sudbury, the amount of chirping that, you're playing the Leafs, you're done, like all
it's
my
so
buddies.
true.
Yeah,
it's
and
so
true.
I'm probably one of those guys,
and
so it's all good.
It's fine, and it's fine. But it was a little extra juice for me.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I cheered for the Leafs when I was younger. My dad played for them, and I remember that year they went and had a hell of a run, and so you always got a soft spot. But at the end of the day, I mean, I ended up playing for Ottawa, and I got a hate on for the Leafs ever since I came in the league, right? Battle of Ontario. So it was just neat because I knew that for our team too, I don't think we had gotten enough respect throughout the year. We had so many injuries and so many guys that were just playing this hard style of game. And I said, what better matchup than to try to go toe to toe with one of the most skilled teams in the league. And we kind of already had a blueprint from playing Tampa the year before.
Yes.
And we wanted to have that same mindset, and we knew how dangerous they were, and they showed it. I mean, we went 5 games and could have went either way. Obviously, those 2 crazy comebacks in both games. But I felt like we had a real good chance because we just had that mindset of grinding and playing that playoff style hockey, and it worked. It worked for us. I think we just had that mental edge where we were ready to get nasty if we had to and play that grind style of playoff hockey. And and all credit to our team. We stuck with it and never got intimidated by their power, and were able to overcome a lot of things and ultimately get the win. And it was just gratifying because there was a lot of buddies and I remember my wife being she goes, I was more nervous for that series than I was the Tampa series, just because I knew if you didn't win, everybody would be cheering.
Yeah.
And so it was nice to get that win. And also, let's be honest, I know nothing against, it's not about the Leafs at all. It was just, I felt like we were a team that was, built for the playoffs a little bit more and had that mindset of, and I wanted another crack at Tampa. I didn't know if we'd get them.
No kidding.
I wanted another crack at them, and unfortunately we fell a little short. But it was a great series against Toronto, man. I thought that was great hockey.
Yeah, that is music to my ears, Nick. Music to my ears. I told Tom because he was always worried about the Bruins. And he was looking past the Columbus series. And I said, Tom, they're playing under Torts. I said, they're a physical team. They're going to skate them hard and watch. And he watched. He saw it happen. Tom saw it happen.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, I loved it. That was music to my ears.
That was all the media too, right? That was
the media's nuts.
Poster board material for us too, right? We kept hearing like it was just they'll be done in 3 or whatever it was. And, we had been counted out all year. So it was kind of fun for us to go in and prove people wrong. Cause again, nobody really sees Columbus, right? Everyone, you see us in the standings, but nobody really watches our games or understands how our team was made up. And, we had a great player in Pierre-Luc Dubois who played like a beast in that series. Korpisalo was amazing.
Sick.
So we had a lot of really good efforts from a lot of guys, and it was a lot of fun.
Do you like 5-game series versus 7-game series? Or do you think you should keep it 7?
I don't know. I feel like the history should say 7, but I do like the 5 only in that it really, I mean, the first round can kind of go any way.
Killer,
And everyone says it too. Don't get me wrong. The later rounds are hard. First round is always the hardest one to win. It's just it's a crapshoot. Whoever gets hot at the right time.
It's so true.
You got some guys.
Look at you guys, four straight against the best team in Tampa, right?
Yeah. Like Tampa doesn't think they're coming in there. That's going to happen to them.
No.
And so I think 7 just because the history of it, and if you want to compare it all the years before, then I'd say 7. But I thought 5 was interesting. I thought it made for great hockey from the get-go. I thought everybody was so ready to go because they knew how important that first game was. So.
Right. Good stuff.
So you end up being the Leafs, and then you end up getting another crack at Tampa. And game 1 was one for the history books, and
unbelievable.
It was 5 overtime. So run us through this game, because it was from 3 p.m. Eastern to 9:22 p.m. Eastern. Like, did you guys have to get dinner in? Like, how did that work?
Well, we were eating like pizza, and it was wild. Yeah, that was a wild game, especially because first of all, it sucks because you're like, man, what could have happened if we would have won that game? Would we have put them back on their heels? Like, oh man, here comes Blue Jackets again, right? We can't beat these guys, and and I remember just the efforts of some guys. I think Seth Jones, I don't know how many minutes,
63
minutes. Yeah,
63,
65. I remember I played 50 something, and I looked at him like, I better not be tired. This guy's got 10 more minutes than me. Like, who am I kidding? And I was just so proud of the guys because I looked around the room, and that's a hell of a team in Tampa, and we could definitely feel it when we played against them. We're like, okay, they've changed. They're a grittier, harder team right now, and we went toe to toe with them in that first game, especially coming off 5 games. We didn't give an inch, and it was a fluky goal. I remember I think it deflects off of one of our guys.
I know.
It's just it goes right to him in the slot, and he scores. Oh, heartbreaking. But I remember just like in the locker room after, you're drenched, and I remember after the second overtime, you're almost like exhausted. After the first overtime, you're kind of tired. And then in the second overtime, you're like dead. And then by the third overtime, you're like, I feel great. Like, I don't even know how it flips, but now you're like, I feel great. It's like you got an 8th win. And it's funny. And guys are eating like everything that you can get in, right?
Yeah.
And your equipment, you don't even notice it's like soup. Your skates are squishing. You're trying to get all the stuff as dry as possible. And you're almost, and honestly, you're laughing. Like you're getting on the bench and you're looking up.
You're going
oh my God, are we still playing? Like, this is insane, And I remember Pat Maroon on the other team. He looked over and he's like, I'm freezing now, because he hadn't played. I don't think he played in the overtime.
Oh my God.
So he's like, he looked over, he's like, I'm freezing, because he's like, now his sweat's dried up and it's cold, right? So he's like, I'm freezing right now. And so just like those little stories. But the best one, I had a buddy text me. He said he was driving home from Barrie. It was the second period. And he got home and he got to watch the whole nother game, because by the time he got home, it was like the first overtime. He's like, I watched 3 more periods, and he's like, it was insane to drive home, listen to your game, and still have that much time to watch the game after. So pretty funny. But it was a long one.
And nonetheless, you're in the bubble. What was the bubble life like?
Bubble hockey, baby. It was honestly, it was a little bit better than what we got going on now. We're locked in our rooms, and
it must suck.
Yeah. But no, you know what? It was awesome. I say that like it was hard. Don't get me wrong, because you're just not used to not having those freedoms, and and you're away from your family, and you felt like you were in a pee-wee hockey tournament that was lasting forever.
It's so true.
Yeah. Except minus we didn't play any mini sticks in the hallways. We should have. But that's that was what it felt. But it was so neat, because I think for all of us, and I think if you ask any guy this, they would say the same thing. Like, we got hockey taken away from us, right? Come March, the pandemic comes, hockey is abruptly taken away, and so for us just to be hockey 24/7, it was actually awesome. You'd come home from your game and you had like 7 other games on. And it was just hockey all the time. And I think it fed our craving for it. And so you didn't really care that you were in a bubble, and it was the playoffs, first of all, which everyone's dreams of playing in. So if you're in there, you're there to win. Right. And so our mindsets and everything were just, this is what we have to do to win. This is what we have to do. And so it was hard. Don't get me wrong, being away, and you're so used to being around your family for that little while, but it was another chance to chase your dream and win in the Stanley Cup. So I think anyone would jump at that. That's why I think this makes it a little harder. Still the lead up to the playoffs and this whole situation where you're really disconnected. Like in the bubble, we could still hang out
with each other at least.
Didn't have to wear masks. Yeah, like it was. Now anytime we're hanging out, we're wearing masks. And so you feel a lot more isolated here. But the bubble was unique, and I don't ever want to do it again. But it was awesome.
Yeah, cool. Different experience for sure. Okay, Nick, we're gonna get into a couple general questions, and then a fast 5, and then we'll conclude from there. Off-season skates in Sudbury. You have any stories from there? What's the talent looking like skating with these kids from Sudbury?
Well, I see you got one in. I think Jack skates with us, doesn't he?
Yeah, Jacko. Yeah.
Good kid. The skates are awesome. I mean, I remember being the young guy, and now I'm the old guy, so it bothers me a little bit. But I got to think of drills to do, and Marcus is useless. He doesn't help me with anything. He just shows up, gets on the ice. I'm like, good God, man, help me out here. But no, it's really fun. For me, it's fun because, first of all, like I said, I get to be around my brother, which we're so fortunate to play in the NHL, but I don't get to see him very often. So the summer skates are kind of our time to hang out and have a good time. And, and then, I love it because I remember being the young guy who came up, and Derek McKenzie and Brian Savage and Andrew Brunette and Jonathan Chichu and all these older guys, would take, would let me skate with them. I was 16 playing juniors. I was a punk. I remember one time I flipped the puck through Derek McKenzie's skates. I was 16. I think he was like 19 or 20 at the time. 21. He was a pro. And I like made a move on him in the neutral zone, like flipped it through his skates, which you don't do. Yeah. He chased me around the ice, and I'm like, am I have to fight this guy? Now I would kick his ass, but then I was still afraid of him. But
that is awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty funny. But I love it now because I see these kids, and I love being around them and seeing their passion. And it's kind of funny how they get nervous. They come on the ice the first day and they're nervous. They kind of mess up and screw up some passes. But there's a lot of great talented players, that we have in Sudbury, and it's really nice to showcase that and to see where the future is going. You got, like you said, you got Bert, who's an up and coming, I think star in this league, and has only gotten better every year. The Giroux boys, they're great players. So I'm trying to think of we have so many nicknames for guys. But Jack is obviously, I remember him. And there's so many London Night kids.
Moscow.
Moscow. That's what I was gonna say. We call him Moscow Mule. And so, it's really neat. He actually ended up coming to our camp one year.
He did. Yeah, so, that's right.
So it was just like to see that and the progression of a lot of these kids. It's just it's exciting, and so it's really and I think, is there like a Dario Beljo?
He's one of my good buddies.
Great player. So it was neat because I saw the name Beljo and I'm like, do you know Yad Beljo? He used to be a great player, and I skated with him when I was younger. So it's just neat to see how all that comes full circle and seeing all these guys and it's a lot of fun.
Any of those guys try and go through legs on you?
I'll kill them all.
I love it.
You know what? Some of them make some pretty good moves, though. I gotta admit, they got some good skills. But I love that though. Like I actually I like when they try to do some stuff or go at me or come at me hard. Like that shows me that they got some edge, and that's what you need. The league, I know there's fighting that's kind of going out, but it's still it's a man's league.
It's a hard league.
Sure. So that if you want to get to that next level and you want to they got to have that. And so I love seeing that. I love when they get aggressive and even with each other, it's great for, where I think their mentality's at. And I really am always encouraged by, a lot of the players in Sudbury. There's some really good talents coming through here.
Yeah. Awesome.
And you mentioned the Giroux brothers. I'm actually really good friends with Demier, and I actually played minor hockey growing up with him. And he did me pretty good because we had him on our show, and I asked him after we had Marcus on, I asked him for your contact info to see if we can get you on. So I was, putting a nice paragraph together, and I sent the text to Marcus, and we already just had Marcus on like 2 days before. And I'm like, fucking Demier, he gave me Marcus's number, not yours. And I called him after, and he goes, I got you good there. So that was shit. And then Marcus answered, awesome. Here's Nick's email. I'm like, oh, shit.
That's great. Yeah.
That's too good.
Oh, no. That's too funny.
Yeah.
I'll kick his ass for you. I'll see him on the ice. I'll kick his ass.
I love it.
So
is he in Iowa? Where is he?
Yeah, he's in Iowa right now.
How's he doing?
Good.
He actually just broke some parts in his finger, so he's battling through an injury. He said he's still gonna try to play. I don't know.
But he was playing. He was like solid. I think he had a few points. He was doing good. And just to let you know, Nick, Marcus, ever since he's come on the pod, red hot. I'm just letting you know. BTB bump.
Why do you think I'm so excited to be on here right now? I'm gonna be on fuego here pretty soon.
That's what I want to hear. We'll be watching. Yeah, home stretch,
it.
baby.
I love
it.
So sort of the last question I have for you for the general part of it is, you mentioned playing against your brother basically your whole career. Would you ever want to like down the line play on the same team as him? Because if you ever do, like, you guys would be a deadly line. I know Alex would be a great third to that line if you guys ever play together.
Absolutely.
I'll train like I'm in the military, and then I'll be out there.
You'll be our protection out there.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, no, actually, we Marcus and I do talk about it, and I think it would be a dream of ours to obviously play together. Yeah. I think we never have ever lined up because of just my age. I'm always 4 years older, so even growing up in the minor hockey systems, we just never always missed him. I left junior, he came in that year,
right?
So it was just it would be special. I am sentimental wise. I hate playing him now. I used to love it. But now at the point we're in our careers where you play against them, and thank God it's only twice a year because we're in different conferences.
Yeah.
Right.
But I remember when he was in Buffalo and I was in Columbia, you felt like you were taking, I want to see my brother do well. I want to see him have success. Yeah. So when you beat him, you just feel like, or they beat you, you're stopping each other from having success because now it's another loss.
It's so true. Yeah.
So it's a weird one. Like some people are like, oh, I love playing with my brother and I want to kill him. But we got that out of our system the first couple of years,
Yeah.
And then it becomes like, no, I know how hard it is to win in this league. I know how short careers can be. So I want to see Marcus have success. And I'm sure he feels the same way about me. So when we play each other, we're still competitive as ever, but it doesn't have that same like fun and it's just good. It's good to see him. But then again,
I gotta go on and kill you now.
He buries one of my teammates. I gotta go bury
answer the bell. Yeah, exactly.
So it'll be, but I don't think we'll ever fight because I think my mother would come down from heaven and kick the shit out of both of us.
No doubt.
Yeah.
If you guys are on the same team, who's wearing 17? Do you have, or are you a 71 guy now?
I think I'm a 71 guy now. Yeah. I've worn it so long that 17.
It's true.
I was never a 17 guy.
You were 16, right?
16. Yeah. My mom's number. So
that's right.
That was my mom's number. I was laughing when, so that's why I always wore 16 and then came to NHL. And I remember when I got to the arena, my number was 71 and the trainer like watched me walk around. They're like giggling in the corner and I'm like, sweet. I have a number at the end. Oh yeah, thanks. Guys. Like you could have put 69 on the back of that.
Like Desi.
They thought it was awesome because of my dad, and then obviously like it's pretty neat to be able to wear that number and know that he wore it, and Marcus too. 71 or 17. I mean, it's so good he got rid of that 82 junk that he was wearing in Buffalo.
Yeah, no, it's true. Number. Yeah.
Oh. I said, like, are you playing football or are you playing hockey? What are we doing here?
That's amazing. I love that. Okay, right before we get to the rapid fire, how's your golf game?
I'm not a very good golfer, guys.
No.
You know why? I know, like, I mean, I can hit the ball around, but well, in Sudbury, first of all, if it's a nice day, no offense, I'm not going to the golf course. I'm staying on the lake.
Going on the lake.
Yeah. So, and then I don't know. I think I became a dad pretty young, so I was like, am I going to go 4 hours and play golf, or my wife's going to kill me? So I love the game. Don't get me wrong. If I have a chance to go play, I love it. I'm not a great golfer. I'd say I hate saying this, but I think Marcus is better than me because he had no responsibilities for a long time. Now he's
dad too.
Two kids. Now he's grinding. But
I love it.
I love the game.
Good stuff. Well, we got
you guys are big golfers, right?
Huge golfers.
Yeah.
Marcus and Bert been talking match plays. Like, we're seeing if you want in, hey, we're open. We're open to
if
it.
you don't mind a couple foot wedges, like my
eyes are blind. My eyes are blind too.
Yeah, and that's my middle name. I get bagged on all the part that I buff my eye a little bit. Nobody knows.
It's common sense. It's common sense. You're not gonna go behind the tree, snap your club. You're gonna move that ball.
No, exactly. Yeah. I got my clubs at Walmart. I'm not breaking those.
Oh, that's gold. All right. Let's go. So we're going to go. This is our segment called the Fast Five. Tommy's going to run it through with you. So 5 fast questions, whatever comes to the top of your head, you say it. So I'll send it over to Tom.
Okay. So the first question is your go-to pregame meal.
I go with, on the road, it's salmon, pasta, and broccoli and corn.
Baby.
Wow,
nice. And then at home, it's more of a Italian style chicken.
I like it. Chicken parm. Love it. Love it.
Nice.
Gotta stay light, you can't
no kidding.
Second question. Favorite place to travel on the road?
Ooh, probably Nashville.
Nashville.
Yeah, I'm a big country music fan.
Right. Yeah.
Right, I was at like this on my window though, just my face pressed against the window last time we were in Nashville because we can't go anywhere or do anything. You could just hear the kick drum going.
Open the window a little bit, just lean out the window.
Trying to breathe it in. So sad. So sad.
This one might be a long shot, but favorite high school teacher?
Oh, high school teacher. Oh man. I don't know. I have a favorite. Jeez, I don't know. My wife. She's a teacher.
Nice, good touch there. I like that.
I don't
What
know
high school?
I'm trying to think of the high school. I'm like, God, I don't even remember any. I went to Lockerbie.
You went to Lockerbie, okay?
Yeah, Lockerbie, because it was closer to my house in Long Lake. So Lockerbie,
true.
Great. I loved it. Good people. The no offense to the school, it's like a prison. Like there's no windows. There's no windows in that school. Hey? Like I got there. I'm like, where are the windows? They're like, you felt like they're like this thick too, Like I'm like,
thank God I only got to be there twice a week.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But yeah, I'm sorry. I feel bad. I don't have a high school teacher that
really
throw in
hey,
there.
Alex, but
my wife was a teacher, so I said throw it in there.
Good touch. Good touch. Yeah.
Favorite.
Hey, I made the other 4, the other 2 that are coming right now, but Alex put that question in, so that
we always use that one.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I feel bad. I great teachers there. I just can't remember their names.
Yeah. No worries.
So.
Most memorable goal of your career?
Ooh. Yeah, I got to go with the overtime winner and
the knee slide.
That was
unreal.
The score in overtime. The best part was Bob Cole called that goal, and he had the exact same call that my dad had when my dad scored against Detroit in overtime. He was exact scores, Foligno scores, the exact same. And somebody played it side by side and had a video, and it gave me chills to hear that. So
that's so cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so last one. Favorite Sudbury restaurant?
Well, my buddy owns Eastside Mario's, so I gotta say Eastside Mario's. Jeff Cook, you're welcome. P&M Cuisina is definitely they're just the staple of Sudbury and just good people. And I feel for all the restaurants though right now, man.
It sucks. Yeah,
breaks my heart hearing some of these stories and just good. And we're blessed. We have some pretty good restaurants in Sudbury too. So,
oh my God, yeah.
But I gotta say P&M's, they're a staple.
That they're like they've. I think 90% of our interviews, they've been the favorite Sudbury restaurant.
I think we have to get them as a sponsor.
No kidding. Yeah, we're going to have to hit them up. No kidding.
You guys pumping their tires. We got to get them something.
They're getting a BTB
skin in the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, Nick, that's going to do it for the interview. on behalf of the boys, thanks so much for coming on and investing your time in us. Like, to have both Folignos come on, and we never thought it'd happen this quick. So for you guys to come on, it means the world. We looked up to you the whole way. Next step for us is to get Mike on. And that's what we're gonna have to reach out to next. But again, thank you so much for coming on. It was a blast, and hopefully we can get you on again down the line, maybe for a live interview one day at the ID.
Yeah. No, I'd love it. That'd be great. No, honestly, guys, this is awesome what you're doing too. I love that you're highlighting Sudbury, and it's great to see some Sudbury boys putting it on the map. So keep it up. Great to see you guys.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Nick.